From the Homes for Heroes studio in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you are tuned in to Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. Here are your hosts, Bob Stanky and Seth Jessica.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. I am Seth Jessica, and that is Bob Stanky, and we are two of the bigger crew at the Homes for Heroes marketing department with a show that we bring to you every week focused on bringing you digital marketing strategies and tactics to help you grow your real estate or mortgage lending business. And Bob, what in the Sam Snowman is going on? It is, I woke up this morning, it was 35 degrees.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like it's 80 outside, but it's like in the 40s. So I have my sweatshirt on here representing Homes for Heroes. But yeah, it's not quite as warm as we were hoping it was going to be today.
No, and we can't even complain about it being a Minnesota thing, because I was watching the news today and the Northeast is getting, well, actually I saw Michigan. So our national director with Homes for Heroes is located in Michigan, and she shared pictures on Facebook today with snow. And I saw in the news today that the Northeast is preparing for snow this weekend. So it's not a Minnesota thing. I just feel like 2020 is just like, it's testing us with everything we got.
It's weird.
They said, hey, we're going to throw the coronavirus at you, and then we're going to throw these murder hornets at you, and then, hey, let's throw you a little bit of snow in the middle of May. I mean, I'm just ready to wrap 2020 up as it is what it is. I'm just going to make the best out of it now.
I saw there was a meme or something on the internet, and it said, worst purchase of 2019. And then the next image was a 2020 planner. It's a good call. If you had any plans for 2020, they most likely to this point at least have taken a detour. So people's vacations and spring breaks and all that kind of got tossed away. Hopefully, not too many of our summer plans get tossed.
Right. Well, if you have, I didn't do this on purpose. It wasn't something that I intentionally did. It was just something that I kind of stumbled across, and I would encourage anybody to do this if they have the opportunity to do this. But I was just going over some of the content to my own personal YouTube channel the other day, and this is not a segue into today's episode because we are going to talk about YouTube. But
yeah, not at all.
I was going over some of my content on my personal YouTube channel, and I created a video earlier this year, and I was talking about 2020 and all the things I wanted to do, and I just had to stop. I laughed. I was like, oh man, if I even knew if I knew then what I know now, that content would have been completely different. But
yeah, because you started off the year with a bang. You went to like Jamaica, right? Where'd you go?
I went to
Jamaica, right?
I went to Jamaica, and I actually, that was another thing. So
Florida, you went down to Florida for a couple of days, right?
I shared a post to Facebook, and this was another one that made me laugh, is I posted a picture I posted a video to Facebook, and it was me sitting in front of the ocean on my patio in Jamaica. And it said, this was late January. And the caption on it said, I know it's early in 2020, but this is likely to be the best coffee of the year. And I was just saying it because I was sitting there looking at the ocean in 80-degree weather in Jamaica, and it was picture perfect. And that's the reason why I said it. But then I laughed at it because I was like, yep, well, that's the truth.
It was. It was.
I'm likely not going to get a better cup of coffee than that in 2020. But on a brighter note, or we're going to keep it positive anyways, but on a brighter note, we are going to talk about something today that I'm excited to talk about because I love talking about video marketing. I love talking about YouTube. Obviously, I am shoulder deep in YouTube right now, so it's something that I'm very excited about. And we're going to talk a little bit about how real estate agents and mortgage lenders can build their business on YouTube in 2020. And I got to ask you, Bob,
I'm the Michael Jordan of YouTube.
But this is going to be my question to you, because I think that is a perfect analogy. You are the YouTube, or you are the Michael Jordan of YouTube, and I want to test you on where you're at mentally with this episode, because Bob is hot and cold with YouTube. Like I'll talk to him one day,
Mhm.
and he's absolutely in love with it. He's smashing it. He's putting up a video on some Google Suite product. It's getting like 1.5 thousand views, and then he'll come walking into the office the next day, and he'll say, "YouTube is the crappiest thing ever," and he absolutely hates it.
I've retired from YouTube like twice. That's what I say.
That is not a lie. That is absolutely true.
That's true, and I think it's been twice, just like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why I'm the Michael Jordan of YouTube. So today I feel really good about YouTube. Today I love YouTube. Tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see. But
all right, so tell me why you love YouTube today, because I need to hear some positivity. Because I love YouTube right now. I have to. I'm married to it right now. It's what's keeping me company right now. But why do you love YouTube right now?
Well, for two different reasons. One, it's my absolute go-to. Some people consider YouTube a social network. I guess I kind of do. It's got social elements to it, right? But it's like my number one. Here's the way I'll phrase it. It's my number one favorite creator platform. Okay. So just about all the social media services are content-driven platforms, right? I mean, Twitter wouldn't be Twitter if people weren't producing content. Now it's 280 characters, right? It's a different kind of content. There's video and photos and stuff. Instagram is a content creation platform.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is my favorite content creation or content creator platform. So I'm on YouTube quite a bit. Sometimes during the day, I like to listen to music through YouTube.
I do that every day.
Yep. I listen to TEDx talks sometimes during the day. Those are nice little background noise. I watch YouTube videos at night. It's my preferred like entertainment channel if I'm watching TV. So I'll cast YouTube up on my TV. I get my news from YouTube, through trusted and reliable sources, of course. So from a consumption standpoint, I absolutely love YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's my go-to. On the creator side, I love YouTube because YouTube rewards you for doing what you love and doing it consistently. So some of the greatest YouTube channels that I follow, some might be just totally weird, crazy things that like maybe a lot of other people don't have an interest in, but I do. Millions of other people do. So if I create a channel of something I like, as long as I upload consistently and I put some time in, just a little bit of time, YouTube rewards you for that. You will get views on your videos. You will get watch time on your videos.
Absolutely.
So usually what happens is the thing that I don't like about YouTube is the process of making videos, because it's so hard to do. And you know that. You do it professionally. It's so hard for somebody like me, an amateur. That's true. You're a pro. But like for me, like an amateur, and I'm sure many of our audience who hasn't mastered things like Final Cut or whatever those fancy tools are that you use for video editing, we haven't mastered those. So creating a video for us is difficult. So then usually what happens is I get frustrated and then I say, I'm retiring from YouTube. I'm not posting another video ever again. And then for some odd reason, I get some sort of, creative vision or something. That's a stretch even to say that. I get some sort of idea for a video I want to post.
Yep.
I put the video up and something catches and it gets views and it gets comments. And then I get excited again. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to throw the jersey back on, number 45 here at the Bulls. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trotting out on the YouTube court again. Oh, I'm back. Feeling good, And then it happens again. It's like an endless cycle. And then before you know it, I'm back with the Wizards.
And then you're forced into retirement again because you're playing for the Wizards.
But like, I would much rather get, I know this sounds crazy, but I would much rather get, let's just say 1,000 views on one video on YouTube than 10,000 retweets on Twitter. I really would.
I totally agree with you on that. And I
it's so much more of an engaged audience. I don't know.
It is.
Watching your video, like, it's not, and YouTube's still kind of trolly. Like, it's still got a lot of haters on it. But for the most part, it's a great community, especially if you're in a space that people that are watching your videos are into what you're making.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super valuable platform to connect with people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so today I love YouTube because I published a couple of videos personally on my personal channel in the last couple of weeks, and they got a pretty good reaction. I got a number of likes, I got some comments, and the thing that really amazes me the most is when you get a comment from someone who you don't know.
Oh yeah,
you don't know, and you it makes you think and wonder yourself, like, how the heck did they find my video? Like, well, somewhere on the YouTube platform, YouTube recommended my video to, that person, and they watched it and they got value out of it. That's super rewarding. That's way more rewarding than putting a tweet up on Twitter trying to be funny or, snarky or something, and then, you get like 100 likes or 100 retweets. I'd much rather have content on YouTube.
I agree with you 100%. And I think that that's one of the things that is so you're right. There's still the troll aspect, right? But as I've talked and had conversations with you before, within all the content that I'm putting up on YouTube right now, I'm creating probably, at least 3 videos per week and publishing sometimes 4 to 5 videos to our Homes for Heroes YouTube channel per week. And I've had conversations with you and saying, is this even worth it? I feel like I'm putting so much time and energy into it, and I don't know that I'm getting the rewards on it. And now we've seen tremendous growth in our YouTube channel. So yes, that is very rewarding, but it is those comments, like, and I don't want to sound arrogant. I mean, it's just going back to the point you made about the rewarding aspect of it. So I've been publishing this series of videos about Facebook advertising, how real estate agents can get the most out of their advertising dollars. And it's on a series called Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes. And I've had a gentleman, don't know him, from Joe Smith on the street. He's been following me, and he has been calling me out by name in the comments section saying, thank you so much for putting these together. He's like, I'm a big fan of Facebook tutorials, but these are true gold. And to me, I was like, okay, that's worth it. Like, obviously we need to drive business results with it. And that's what we want to help our audience with today on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes is, driving those business results on it. But, it is a lot of work. I mean, for anybody to put together video content and to build a YouTube channel and to build an audience, and the views are absolutely what I look at. Views and subscribers. I mean, I totally get sucked into those vanity metrics, even though I say, hey, there's more beyond just vanity metrics. We have to peel back the layers of the onion to get to the value of it. So I know I tell people don't get stuck on the vanity metrics, but it's really hard not to. And
my favorite metric on YouTube is watch time minutes, because I think that's the one that just blows my mind. Like, I'll log into my personal YouTube channel, and like I said, I only have like 18 videos. I don't even have that many videos. But when you go in and see, like, in one day, there were 259 minutes of watch time. And when you do the math, you're like, oh my God, that was hours of time spent by individuals watching my content. That's my favorite metric in YouTube. It's also one that I know YouTube looks at a lot in terms of, how they rank videos and stuff, is how much of your videos are getting consumed. So I love the watch time metric.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. That's why YouTube puts it right at the top there on your dashboard. It's views, watch time in hours, and then subscribers, because I know that's what I guess that's what, obviously what they're judging the creators on that platform with. And it's what we care about now is like how much of our content is being consumed. So but there's so many, you can really dig deep in the metrics with YouTube's studio. But you touched on a lot of things that I actually want to talk about in today's episode, because you talked about consistency, you talked about where you prefer to consume YouTube on. And so let me just throw some stats out. You know how I like to throw stats out at the beginning of the show. I don't know if this is necessarily 100% important for our audience to really drill down in on, but it shows the power of YouTube And I think it will preface some of what we're going to talk about today. And it goes to some of the points that you just brought up. So in terms of active users, YouTube has 2 billion active users globally. It has 500 hours of video uploaded every single minute. That just blows my mind. 500 hours of video is uploaded every single minute. YouTube is the second most preferred platform for watching video on TV screens among the age demographic of 18 to 34-year-olds. I mean, those 3 stats right there show you the power of video and the power of YouTube. And the thing that I didn't even mention in there, which I think is equally, if not more important, and what we're probably going to unpack today is a lot of people don't know this. YouTube is the second most utilized search engine in the world next to Google. Yep. So I think that's really important to understand because people, our customers, our potential customers are going to YouTube to look for answers and solutions to their questions and problems, right? And that's one of the biggest values that YouTube allows us in terms of a business, right? It's a great place for us to be discovered and create brand awareness among people who don't even know us. Just like you were saying, you create a video and then somebody goes and comments on your video, somebody that you've never met before. They watch your video and they ask you a question or they thank you for the content that you produce. And that was one of the biggest values of YouTube. I mean, there are literally millions of people logging into YouTube every day and searching in that search bar, how do I get pre-approved for a home loan? And then YouTube is serving them content right there that's going to answer their questions and provide solutions to their problems. And so it's a great way to get discovered. And I throw those stats out there because it shows the power of YouTube. But I think it's going to unpack a lot as we talk today. So I want to talk a little bit about strategy, and I'm going to pick your brain about this. And the other thing I'm going to talk about with you today, and I want to pick your brain about, is cadence, because I don't think that you and I have conflicting opinions on this. I just think that we think of it in the same way, but we know how important cadence is. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. And then I think we have some tools that we can definitely talk about in terms of, helping real estate agents and mortgage lenders optimize and kind of get the performance of their YouTube channels up there. So first I want to start off with is strategy. Now, in terms of a real estate agent or mortgage lender, when we think about strategy, I had given that example of how people are out there on YouTube searching for specific topics, like how do I get approved for a home loan, right? And I know that's been wildly popular about how people have been able to grow their YouTube channels, focusing on topics that people are searching for, focusing on keywords that people are searching for. And there's a lot of great tools out there that will help you define your content in terms of what you're producing, right? Are you going to create informational content, educational content, inspiring content, etc.? But if you're a real estate agent or a mortgage lender and you're trying to provide answers and solutions to potential clients, you might want to think about some of those keywords or topics that people are actively searching for and putting your business in front of them. And as you think of like these very high level or very searchable keywords like home loans or home loan pre-approval process or whatever, I think that's where we automatically tend to go, right? That's exactly in our wheelhouse. That's what our business does. But when we think about that, if you're going to create content around those highly searched keywords or those topics that are trending, you have to know that you're up against a lot of competition, right? If you're a mortgage lender,
give me a keyword real quick.
For
real estate,
getting a
we're gonna do a
home loan.
We're gonna do a real time
home loan pre-approval process. Or not?
You can keep talking.
Okay, yeah, go with that.
or home loans for first-time buyers.
Sure. That's pretty.
Okay. Well, here's home loan pre-approval process. Do you want me to do that one?
Sure.
Let's do a real-time test here.
Okay.
So I'm using an extension called TubeBuddy.
Mm-hmm.
And TubeBuddy tells me, based on whatever search term I want to use in YouTube, it tells me the search volume, the searches per month, and the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then overall it gives you a score on whether or not it thinks you should produce content around that. So the point you were just making about like, hey, there's a lot of things you can create videos out there for. There's a lot of keywords you could. So home loan pre-approval process. The search volume is poor right now, which maybe makes sense. Maybe there's less people in the market. Searches per month, 3,600 searches per month.
Okay.
Competition is very good, which means that, so in terms of that searches per month, that's the estimated average number of times people search for that exact keyword on YouTube per month globally.
Mm-hmm.
So your competition is very good. I mean, if you want to rank for that specific search term, home loan pre-approval process, that's actually probably a pretty good keyword to use or to create content around. And overall, they say it's fair in terms of like overall, what you could expect if you create a video around that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not taking into account your creative process and the production value of your video and how informational it is. It's looking just at that keyword.
Yep.
That's it, right? Let's just do one more really, really quick one because I thought that other one was a good one too. So home loans for first-time buyers.
Yeah, that'll be a better one. That one should help me make my point. If it doesn't,
yep.
If it doesn't, I'm screwed, Bob.
So no, I think it's going to be so. Search volume incredibly high.
Yep. Okay.
305,000 searches per month.
Okay.
Competition, good, meaning it's like right in the middle. You're going to be kind of in the middle of everybody else. They're saying it's a good keyword to create content around because it's really popular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's 305,000 searches on it a month in YouTube. So I think the point I'm making is that when you talk about strategy, it's really important. If you're doing YouTube for business, understanding keywords, understanding what your competition is around those keywords is incredibly important. If you're just going to do YouTube for fun, around a hobby or something like that, then don't worry about that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
From a business perspective, you got to be looking at that stuff because it really wouldn't be good to spend a whole lot of time creating a video around something that has incredibly difficult competition on YouTube. You might want to rethink the type of content you're going to create because you would be mixed in with a sea of videos that have already been created.
And see, that's what I was gonna. That's the question I was gonna pose to you. And so if you're going after keywords or if you're going after trending topics that there's a lot of competition around, you're going against the big banks, prime lending, Wells Fargo. They're creating content out there on blog posts, on YouTube that is all about like first-time homebuyer loans, right? So you're going up against them in terms of content competition, and not saying that you can't win at that game, but it's going to be a much harder, it's going to be a much steeper hill to climb.
Yep.
So I was going to pose this question to you because I think that there's tremendous value. And actually, if any real estate agent or mortgage lender was going to approach me in terms of if I'm going to provide informational content or educational content for potential clients to grow my YouTube channel, what is a recommendation that you would give me? And I would say niche down in your content. And that was a question I was going to pose to you, Bob, because I know that you're a big fan of niching down, and actually niching down are words that I took from you. I think within the first few months of starting at Homes for Heroes, you had brought up those two words, niching down. But you also went to Inman Connect, and they were talking about video production. Now, this wasn't specific to YouTube, so I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you with this. But I know one of the big messages that was communicated at Inman Connect was real estate agents niche down with your video marketing. and niche down with your content. And that was kind of geared towards being the community specialist that homebuyers can turn to with your video content, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. So let me ask you this, in terms of, I'm a big proponent of niching down in terms of your content with YouTube. Like, how can you be the specialist on home loans in your area? How do you craft content around that? Do you think that's relevant still in 2020 for YouTube specifically? Because I think on Instagram or Facebook, it's easier to build that kind of community because it is much more of the social network that you build around you. Whereas YouTube it's more discoverable content. Not that you don't have the ability to create a community around your circle that you in your community, but it is much more discoverable. So how do you feel about that niche down content on YouTube?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important because, and I've kind of, sometimes when I think about niching down, and this goes for even beyond video, this can go for, what you specialize in general, right? So let's say, for example, you're a real estate agent and you specialize in selling homes. So now niching down one level, maybe you specialize in selling homes over $300,000. Okay, so now you've niched down one level. I would say stretch even further. Maybe you specialize in homes over $300 that are on golf courses. Okay, so
imagine the content you could create around that.
Right, exactly. And then before you know it, because you're so focused on niching down to that level, now let's say you create one video a week and you highlight homes that are for sale on golf courses. Think of all the content you can create around that, right? Think about, what do you need to know as a homeowner if you live on a golf course? Kind of need to understand, like, is your house going to get hit with golf balls, right? What type of insurance do you need special insurance? Do you need to put up a net? When you buy a house on a golf course, does that give you a membership to the golf course? Like, there's unlimited questions. I could rattle off 50 right now, 50 content topics around owning a house on a golf course, or things to look for when buying a house that's located on a golf course. You will dominate YouTube when you niche down, because now any combination of anybody going on YouTube that wants to learn more about buying a house on a golf course, because you've created all this content, YouTube will reward you for that. And it was all because you niched down. If you just created a YouTube channel around I sell houses, you'll be mixed in with everybody else in the world. Even saying I sell houses over $300,000 or $400,000 or whatever, or houses under $200,000. You will fall into a sea of a lot of people doing that. So the further you can niche down, I remember one of my former positions I held, a gentleman I worked with, his kind of mantra was niche down 3 times. That's your sweet spot. 3 times. So he would often say, what's the topic of your content? And then you would tell him, and he'd say, okay, now go 1 layer deeper. So you go 1 layer deeper. You go 1 layer deeper. Then you'd say, go 1 layer deeper. And before you know it, you had the most specific content for the audience that you were trying to talk to. So I agree with that when it comes to YouTube and video content. Niche down as far as you can. Find that sweet spot and then create content all around that.
Yeah, and I know that there's going to be people who are tuning into this episode and they're going to struggle with that. And the reason why I know that they're going to struggle with that and they're going to struggle with implementing that kind of mindset is because I struggle with that. I mean, we just got done talking about how important views and subscribers and watch time are to us, right? We want to hit as many people as we want. And we want to be as relevant and interesting to as many people as we can. And just like with everything else that we've talked about here on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes, when you try to appeal to the masses, you tend to appeal to nobody, right? And I
Yep.
guarantee you, any name a brand out there, Minnesota Vikings, the Nike, Banana Republic, whatever it is, they know that they know who their customer is, and they've gone through that process just like you talked about. They've niched down 3 times. Now we can't tell it from surface value, right? But if we're their customer, we can, because they are talking specifically to our needs, our passions, what motivates us, what causes us to tick. So even though we might not be able to tell it surface value, I mean, the best marketing agencies, the best brands out there with the biggest customer loyalty, they've niched down several times. And I know that we struggle with that as business owners, as marketers, because we want to be as relevant and interesting to anybody and everybody. And the only real way that we accomplish that is by niching down. So that would be my one recommendation. And I don't necessarily think, like, if you're a real estate agent or a mortgage lender, that you have to get in front of a camera and just say, I'm going to talk to you about home loans on the golf course. Now, or like the best houses on the golf course. So let me just throw out an example and give some kind of context to this. There's a real estate agent with Homes for Heroes, and he just started creating videos within the past month or two, ever since he's been spending more time at home during the stay-at-home order. And every single day, he creates a new video for Facebook, for YouTube, and he publishes it. And it is him doing pizza taste tests. So he buys a pizza, he cooks it, and he eats it, and he rates it. Now, anybody that follows Barstool Sports on Facebook or whatever, it's a very popular account. It's something similar to that, where he takes these pizzas and he tastes it. But in the middle of it, he talks about something that is extremely relevant to home buyers, right? So that's his customers. But he doesn't necessarily just get in front of the camera and say, hey, I'm going to talk to you about the latest thing that important to people who are considering buying or selling their home. He integrates some entertainment into it. And I think that is great, because it shows his personality. He's entertaining. So I think that there's other ways that you can come across as engaging that audience. But again, niching down, I think, is a great way to do that in terms of information or the educational content that you get put out there on YouTube. Next thing I want to ask you about is Cadence. And I know that I don't know where you and I stand with this. I think we agree on Cadence, but I think I struggle with this in terms of, we talked about this the other day, and in terms of the amount of times that you publish to YouTube and YouTube rewarding that. So the more content that you push out, the more videos you publish, YouTube rewards that by putting your content in front of more people. I do agree with that. And if somebody is going to ask me in terms of what's more important for my YouTube channel, consistent, or I would say publishing more often, or let me go back. What's more important to growing my YouTube channel, quality or quantity? It's really hard, because I say both, but you can't be both, because you're not a video publisher. You're a real estate agent. You're a mortgage lender. You're a business owner. You have customers to serve. You have other channels to do. You're not a sole video producer. So I would say, like, to say that you're expected to create a video every single day is a far stretch. And, maybe you have the time to do it during the stay-at-home order, and you're doing more administrative work, and this is a way for you to explore your creative side. But, when things go back to the new norm, are you going to be able to create a video every day and be rewarded by YouTube's algorithm? Now, I'm going to throw a stat out there before I don't want to set you up and blindside you here, Bob. There's a stat that I found by Hootsuite. By the way, all the stats that I'm sharing on today's episode was from a post that I found on Hootsuite, and I'll share that link in the description to this video. But Hootsuite put a stat out there. 70% of people watch videos based on YouTube's recommendations. And I know that YouTube's recommendations are a strong driver of video views and watch time. And that's why I think if I'm going to talk to a real estate agent or mortgage lender, I'm going to say focus on quality. And I'm not talking about adding on all the cinematic graphics or all the motion graphics. Obviously, that helps catch your audience's attention. But in terms of quality, like if somebody tunes into your video, are you giving them exactly what they're looking for? If they have a question, are you answering that question? If they have a problem, are you solving it? And are you doing it in a concise fashion? Now, obviously, if you can do that on a daily basis, that's awesome. But I guess I see the importance in both, but I'm just going to say quality over quantity. I don't know. Come back at me. What do you got for me, Bob? Because I know that you're a big fan of. I know that you're a big fan of high cadence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we might just kind of like fundamentally disagree on this, because I agree quality is super duper important. But I'll say this. So my sources are very credible, professional YouTubers, right? Who I listen to a lot of podcasts, and so those are my sources, and they say, and I tend to agree, and I don't practice what I preach here on my personal channel, but that's just because it's a personal channel. I'm not trying to necessarily make money or drive conversions from it. So I'll just say this: it's, I believe, a better practice to, let's say you publish one video every Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Every Monday. You don't miss a Monday.
Yep.
I would say I would rather not miss a Monday than miss a Monday because I didn't feel like the quality was there.
100% agree with you on that.
Yeah. I think the calendar and the cadence supersedes the quality. Because here's why. So, boy, YouTube's really hard. And I'm sure this research is out there somewhere. I guess I've never seen it and I haven't really looked for it. But I would have to imagine that the average YouTube, because you're right, that stat that you gave about the 70 some odd percent who see their videos based on YouTube's recommendation algorithm, recommendation engine, that is accurate. That is true. So here's the point I'm making. My guess is the average YouTube consumer watches a variety of different videos all the time. You might go and watch movie trailers one day. You might go and watch a couple of music videos one day. You might, like me, try to figure out how to change the rear light in your car, right? You go to YouTube and you search all these videos, and YouTube's watching everything you're doing, and it's saying, okay, I'm kind of trying to get a gist on what, Seth Jessica likes, and I'm going to throw it in the recommended list. So unfortunately, if you're a brand or you're trying to, achieve an objective at YouTube, you're going against not only your competitors in your keyword, you're going against all the competitors in the recommended list, based on the viewers' habits. So let me give you an example. There's a channel I watch every week. They come out with a video. So YouTube throws that video every Monday morning without fail. It is the first video in the upper right of the recommended list, always, because YouTube knows Bob's going to watch this video because he follows this channel like crazy. The only reason that channel gets that placement is because they publish every week. They don't miss. That guy who produced that video does not miss. If he misses 1 week and his video doesn't come out on Monday morning, and I don't watch it, and all the other viewers don't watch it, now the algorithm's going to, I don't want to say penalize him. It's just he loses that position with the user. So that's why I say cadence over quality is going to win, because regardless of his production value or his quality, he's getting that that first position.
Okay.
And his channel won me over based on the content, not necessarily the production.
Okay, so I wouldn't say that we fundamentally disagree on this, because I think this is where you and I get lost in translation here, because I agree with everything that you just said. So maybe cadence is the wrong word. Consistency is critical, because I agree with you. If you're publishing every Monday and you have built up that audience and they're tuning into you, it's no different than a TV show, right? I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of TV now, so I'm not going to be good with any television shows. But let's just say, because we know it was one of the biggest shows in American history, Friends. Friends was aired every Thursday at 7 o'clock. People would schedule their dinners around that. I can see you smirking, Bob. I'm not a Friends fan.
I would know. I never watched one episode of Friends. I think I'm the only person in America that's never seen a single episode of Friends. But anyway,
MASH.
Go ahead, continue.
MASH.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen MASH.
Okay, MASH was probably like the second, or the Cheers was another one. But they purposely aired that show at prime time, same time, every single week, same time, because people planned their habits around it, because they enjoy tuning into it. And I would say that a YouTube channel is pretty much the same thing. People get used to consuming your content and they're a fan of your content, so consistency is key. I would say don't force yourself to publish 2-3 times a week to get content out there, to get in front of your audience, if it's not going to be quality, right? You don't want to overextend yourself to compromise the quality of the content. I think the consistency will always win in the end if you can produce value for your audience. So one guy I watch on YouTube, his name is Nick Nimmin. This is his career. He's a professional YouTuber, and he creates content for YouTube content creators, right? And he's always said, in many of his videos, he said, whatever the consistency is, or the cadence, or the schedule you're going to follow is way. So, like, for example, say you can only make one video a month. Okay. Probably should do more than that if you want to be impactful on YouTube. But let's just say, agreed,
you can only do one video a month. That is better. That is better than doing one video 1 week, then missing 3 weeks, then creating 2 videos that next week, and then maybe 3 videos the next week. But then you go on a hiatus and you don't post a video for 6 weeks, and then you do 1, and then maybe the next week you do 6 because you're super crazy and you're like, oh, I got all these videos I'm going to make. It would be much better to produce 1 video a month for 6 months than to produce 20 videos at a crazy schedule over that same 6-month period. It's that consistency that YouTube likes and appreciates. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with you. Don't feel like you have to do 2 to 3 videos a week. You don't have to. Do 1 a week. I think that is actually perfect for someone who's just getting into it. Once a week, make sure it's the same day. One of the best case studies out there, YouTube, I don't think YouTube produced it, but somebody did, was they studied gamers. Gamers are big content creators on YouTube. In fact, YouTube has a whole division around gaming, YouTube gaming, because it is a bulk of content on YouTube. And they were talking about how these content creators are religious about the days and the times they stream their content. Okay. So Monday afternoon at 1 p.m., rain or shine, they're there, because those gaming channels have realized that it is much like TV. If they're not there at 1 o'clock on Monday, their audience, their fans, are wondering where the heck they are. And so it got very, very serious to the point where these channels were saying, I'm live Monday at 1 o'clock, Tuesday at 5 o'clock, Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, Thursday I'm off, Friday I'll be on at 9 a.m. And they have this schedule. Yep. And they follow it very specifically. Those channels are some of the most followed, most subscribed, most watch time channels on YouTube because of that. So if you decide, I will post a video every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, YouTube will learn that. They will learn that. They are so smart. that their algorithms are so smart that at 1 o'clock on Tuesdays every week, when your video gets published, the algorithm's going to pick that up and it's going to recommend it to the people who are active at that time who might be interested in your content.
You know what you just told me, Bob? You just told me that my personal channel and your personal channel are garbage.
They are. That's why I said I don't practice what I preach. Like, it's amazing how much I know about YouTube because I listen to YouTube podcasts, I read YouTube blogs,
Yep.
I study YouTube, and I don't even follow any of that. But that's not fair because I've overseen YouTube channels from a corporate perspective, and obviously I've worked on video strategy and stuff like that in the past. So I know enough to be able to, I feel like, be able to give this advice. But yeah, from a personal perspective, I mean, our content is much different on our personal channels. You like to highlight your travels and things like that. And obviously you don't travel every week. If you did though, and you use that as a personal hobby on your YouTube channel, I bet you would make some traction because if you held the consistency and the value of your videos, a lot of people out there who have hobby channels, that's how they grow so much. Because they do follow that same cadence that a company like us would do. And then that's how they grow so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend. I'm going to go ahead and say that Bob and I are on the same page here. Consistency is key. Consistency with your publication or your production is key. Same day, same time every week, and put quality over quantity if you're trying to overextend yourself. Once a week is plenty enough to get started on YouTube. If you can do more than that, once you've established your channel, then absolutely. But I would say don't worry about trying to publish a video every single day if you're trying to get going on YouTube. Stick with consistency, you'll win in the end. And there's another strategy that I want to throw out there. And I'm going to take this from the influencer industry. So we know about influencers and how big they are. And we tend to think of influencer marketing in terms of, who's somebody who's big in our niche or in our industry that we can create a video with that's going to get our name out there. And usually have to pay these people, right? And I'm going to put myself out there, God, whatever. I am who I am, whatever. But we saw an influencer like this with Emma Chamberlain. I do watch a lot of Emma Chamberlain videos, but Target hired her, right? Paid her money, said, hey, we're going to pay you money to create videos because she has like millions and millions of people viewing it, right? And I think as a real estate agent or a mortgage lender, that's not really relevant to our business. Like, we're not going to reach out to some big YouTube influencer to try and get our business out there, right? But I think that there is a practice that if you're not doing this, I would ask you, why are you not doing this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? Why are you not finding people within your local community who have a completely separate audience than you? They don't have to have millions of followers. Heck, if they have 100 followers, that's 100 people that you haven't put your face in front of before. How can you create content with people who are in your industry, who are within your niche, who are within your community, who you can publish content to your YouTube channel? They can publish content to their YouTube channel where you're in the same video. And say you're a real estate agent. Maybe you create a video with a mortgage lender. You can talk about the home buying aspect of it, and they can talk about the home loan aspect of it. Doing that cross content creation promotion, I think, is just going to help you win and reach more people with your content. And you're just providing value to a potential colleague, creating another partnership. You're creating more value for your audience by bringing somebody else onto your channel who has a different knowledge set or a different expertise. So I would say that is one thing that I would recommend anybody. I don't care if it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're creating video content with. That's a strategy that I would recommend.
There's plenty of people out there who will sometimes go on video. I mean, like, for example, let's go back to buying a house on a golf course, just because that's a niche down topic, right?
Yeah.
There's probably some real estate agents out there who specialize in that very thing. Talking to the golf pro at the golf course, right? Or talking to the mayor of the city,
Yep,
or the town about, because they're always they want people to buy houses in their communities. So they're probably more than likely and have a name that people resonate with locally, right? If you talk to the mayor of your town of, let's just say 30, 40,000 people know who the mayor is.
yep,
And if you can get the mayor on video with you at the golf course talking about, these homes that are for sale and the importance of that, like, you can get those influencers on. Don't think of them as mega influencers with millions of followers. These are the micro followers or the micro influencers that can be really powerful to a real estate agent or a mortgage lender.
absolutely. I guess that'd be the one recommendation that I would give anybody who's trying to get their YouTube channel up and going. Once you figured out your content, I don't care if it's educational, informational, inspirational, humor. If you're trying to integrate humor into real estate, whatever it is, create content with other people. Get people there on your show. It's just gonna bring more value to everybody. All right, so I want to quickly get into tools, and we've already touched on a couple of them. So in terms of, you talked about TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is one that we use at Homes for Heroes. You and I both use it. Big fan of it. vidIQ. There is Google Trends, which is another good tool. And then there's also Google Keyword. What is it? Google Keyword Research? Is that the one that's in Google Ads?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Google Trends and Google Keyword Research are pretty similar, right? So you can, if you're trying to create content around specific topics or specific keywords, you can go on to Google Keyword Research. And you can type in a keyword similar, like I asked Bob to do earlier, home loans for first-time home buyers or whatever it was. And you can see the amount of search volume around it. You can see how many people are searching it every single day. You can go on Google Trends and search for what's trending within certain industries, what's trending on YouTube in general. But the value that tools like TubeBuddy, which is you can get TubeBuddy for free still, correct?
Yep. The extension, the Chrome extension. Yep. So
TubeBuddy is a Chrome extension. Thank you for bringing that up, because I would have probably forgot to mention that. It's an extension that you install on your Chrome extension or your Chrome browser, and it allows you to search keywords. It allows you to do so many things, but the value that it brings over Google Trends and Google Keyword Research is that you can, like Bob did, he can put a keyword in there, and TubeBuddy will look at that keyword and it'll say it's got great amount of search volume, but it's got a lot of competition, meaning there's a lot of content out there already. And it also will evaluate your keyword based on your channel. So, for example, if you're creating a YouTube channel around buying a home, and this is going to be a dramatic example, but you create a video around cooking at home, and you're cooking just whatever. If you create keywords around that, it's going to say it doesn't really jive with your channel, but doesn't jive with the content. You're probably not going to rank very high with it. So I'm going to ask you about vidIQ in terms of, do you have experience using vidIQ in terms of keyword research, and which one you prefer over TubeBuddy or vidIQ?
So I've used vidIQ, but I haven't used it for keyword research because I feel like TubeBuddy is the superior tool for that. And the keyword research tool with TubeBuddy is free. That's part of the Chrome extension. TubeBuddy's paid services are helpful if you're going to create content for YouTube, because they help with helping you with naming your video, like titling your videos, tagging your videos, writing descriptions, social sharing your videos, stuff like that. vidIQ I use for channel research. So TubeBuddy will give you some good analytics and things to look at in terms of like if you pull up your competitor's YouTube channel or any YouTube channel for that matter. TubeBuddy will give you some fair assessment of the metrics, but vidIQ I find is the best for really like if you want to examine someone else's channel and what they're doing. vidIQ gives really good insights on like their watch time minutes and their audience and what tags are performing the best. So I highly recommend that.
So
for if you want to analyze a channel, but I still feel TubeBuddy is the best comprehensive tool, both on a research side and on a production side.
Yeah, so I think maybe it'd be helpful for me to for us to take a quick step back, because I kind of brought this in as like these tools for keyword research. Now, keyword research is important, but it's only a piece of the optimization process of your videos. And Google Trends, Google keyword research, they'll help you find the keywords that will help you discover videos that are being highly searched, but that's only a piece of the video optimization process. And TubeBuddy and vidIQ are basically tools that allow you to optimize every single element of your video that YouTube will evaluate your channel on. So you had mentioned tags, you had mentioned title, you had mentioned keywords, there are thumbnails, there's all these different elements. And that's probably what I like about TubeBuddy the most, is what I use is, yes, I look for keywords, I look for topics that are going to be popular, right? Relevant to our channel. But then I use TubeBuddy to evaluate those keywords. How does it fit in with our content strategy? Is there high competition? But then I also take it another step and say, okay, based on this title, I found the content that I want to produce. I found the keywords that are important for that content. TubeBuddy will help you determine a title that's good for that content. It will help you identify the tags. So tags are what kind of YouTube will attach to your video and recommend to other people based on the tags that you use. And the one thing that I do like about vidIQ, because I do use the free version of vidIQ, I use both of them for this, but there's literally 10 or 11 different steps that TubeBuddy and vidIQ will take into consideration when looking at your video and saying, is it fully optimized? Do you have the right title, the right tags, the right thumbnail? Do you have everything set up properly to optimize your video? And I think this is what will help real estate agents and mortgage lenders take that final step into creating a really successful YouTube channel, because there's not a lot of people that will go through that effort, right? But I think if you're going to go through the effort of creating great content and try to build a channel, taking those extra steps, you might as well put in those extra steps, because that is what YouTube's going to evaluate. So I think the optimization tools are extremely important. And, neither Bob nor I are endorsed or do we stand anything to gain monetarily through the recommendation of TubeBuddy or vidIQ.
No, but if TubeBuddy or vidIQ would like to sponsor this video, go to Seth Jessica at Homes for Heroes.
Yeah, we'll certainly do a
we'll certainly take sponsorships if
we will certainly take sponsorships, and our opinion might change the next time we get a sponsorship.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why we don't like. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I guess my disclaimer is I'm a TubeBuddy premium user. I will say that I feel like that tool has helped me make my videos better. Even things like I was super intimidated by making thumbnails, but thumbnails are super important, and TubeBuddy had a tool that helped you make a thumbnail. And it was super duper easy to use, right? So while we're not formally endorsing products like vidIQ or TubeBuddy, I do think they're good tools in the market for someone who needs to get started in video, and you should be doing video. There's hands down, like you got to be doing some sort of video in 2020. There's no question about it. So those are good tools to look at. And on top of that, they're free. And I am a big proponent of when you're starting out and you're brand new to a new channel, there's no shame in the game of finding free tools.
No.
Because the tools that are good, you probably will pay for because they're that good. And that's what I did with TubeBuddy. I found so much value in TubeBuddy that I ultimately paid for it. So I think you should definitely give the free versions a try and see how you like them.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there are free versions to both vidIQ and TubeBuddy, so you can download both extensions to your browser.
Yep.
So, hey, go download both extensions. Figure out which one you like better, but just know that optimization for YouTube videos is an important thing, and it will really help you elevate your channel as you're trying to grow your audience and grow your YouTube channel. All right, last thing that I want to talk about real quick, Bob, and I'm going to kind of lean on you for this one because I know how much you love content and how much time and energy you put into this. I would say we both do. And I'm probably really even more passionate now that I'm publishing 5 videos a week. I want to make sure that it's getting out there because it's one thing to publish your video to YouTube. That's the first step. You're going to get a lot of value out of that, but don't stop there because you need to distribute it, right? So you can get a ton of value and a ton of additional reach if you're distributing it. So distribution strategy. What would you recommend? I know what we're doing right now from a Homes for Heroes standpoint, but what would you recommend in terms of getting that content out there?
3 things. Number 1, share on all social media platforms except for Facebook. Do not share your YouTube video on Facebook because Facebook does not like it. I would rather see you take that video and upload it natively to Facebook.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop you there because this is actually, I'm going to argue with you there.
Okay.
And
sure,
I'm not going to say that I'm right or I'm wrong, but I would say, yes, I agree with you in the fact that Facebook does not like you to publish any links that's going to take their users off their platform. I don't care if it's a blog post or if it is like a link to any website or a link to YouTube. Facebook does not like that. They're not going to reward you for that content. So I would say, I would recommend that you share the YouTube link, publish it to Facebook, and then, because you still have that video a week later, upload it natively to Facebook. That way you could potentially get both rewards. That's my...
Sure. No. Yeah, you could certainly do that. I sometimes worry about Facebook and because we don't know, it's not very public. Google has been semi-open about how they treat SEO and how they treat websites and stuff. Facebook's been very, very vague on like if you do that too much, does it hurt your overall brand on Facebook? I don't know. We don't know because they don't tell us. That's the only reason I say I wouldn't even bother. But no, you can. And to be fair, if you have a public Facebook presence or public Facebook page or whatever, absolutely the link probably doesn't hurt, right? Doesn't hurt Google. But yeah, no, you could do that. I think it's an interesting experiment. I think we know what the results are. The video natively uploaded to Facebook is going to perform better without question. My real concern, I don't know if it's a concern, I just question mark. My question mark is, if I drop a link taking people off of this platform, does Facebook look at that and say, boy, this guy does that a lot? Like, I don't know if I want to prioritize his stuff anymore because he seems to always want to be pushing external links.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I bring it up.
That's fair.
We don't know what Facebook's algorithm thinks about stuff. We know that the content doesn't perform well. That's well documented. But we don't know, is there some sort of marker being put on your account that says, hey, let's deprioritize a lot of this guy's other stuff because of this stuff. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
No,
but that's why I'm always cautious.
That's totally fair, because we don't know. We don't know. And I would say that, yeah, if you're publishing like 10 external links to Facebook every day, yeah, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of traction with your Facebook content, but something to consider.
Number 2, I would email your email list as much as possible. I recommend, if you have an email list, do it weekly. So if you're producing a video every week, include that video in your email, without a doubt. And in your email, most email platforms won't let you embed a video. Makes sense. So my recommendation there is to link to YouTube. Okay, because YouTube, like many of the other social media platforms, they like it when people are on their platform.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to number 3. Number 3 is take that video and embed it on your website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, without question, embed it on your website, because Google's not dumb. When their bots go and they index your website, they can see YouTube embed code. Like, that's intentional. Like, they can see that. And so if I was a betting man and I was in Las Vegas, I'd put my chips on. I'm going to put my videos on my website, because Google's scraping that and they're saying, hey, they're promoting YouTube videos. Now, this is where we run into a sticky dilemma. Okay. The sticky dilemma is this: embedding videos on your website, do it. Absolutely. And any traffic you get to your website and they consume your video there, awesome. Love it. Makes your views go up, does all the good YouTube-y stuff. But the issue is, if you're, let's say you get an email from someone randomly and you have a video that you think would be perfect that you want them to see. So Joe Smith sends you an email. He's like, hey, Seth, I've got a question. I'm confused about these home loan programs. Do you got any resource that best explains these? Okay, you got 2 options. You can send Joe Smith to your website, because you might have a blog post that has that video embedded in it. Or do you link him to your YouTube channel, the video on your YouTube channel? This is where I'm still hazy. I like the idea of sending it to my website because I control the experience there. But I also think that YouTube likes it when I land people on their platform. I can't control the experience as much over there, but maybe YouTube will help surface other videos or other things that would be helpful to that user. I don't know. Sometimes I'm conflicted about what exactly I'll do. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'll probably take people to my website, right? Because the relationship is there. But I do think there isn't anything necessarily wrong with driving them to the YouTube channel as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I guess that's a really interesting dilemma that you posed, because instinctually, if somebody was to ask me that question, instinctually, I would just say, go to the website. Absolutely. Because 1, you can control that experience, but 2, you're keeping that relationship with them for if they're looking for any additional information, right? They can easily, contact you, whether it's through a chat on the website or just, whatever, sign up form or whatever it is. It's a real easy way for them to further that dialogue or that relationship with you. But we know, Google and Facebook pretty much control the world, and we know that they have a lot more power than we like to admit. So they are very smart when it comes to that type of information and where you are sending users and where you're sending people. And they definitely reward people for that. So it's definitely something to consider. Ultimately, at the end of the day, with my business, I'm going to send them to my website, like you said.
Yep.
Because I want to control that experience. The other thing that I'm going to say to that embed point, Facebook allows you to, or it gives you the option to allow video embedding, right? And that's obviously for your purposes, right? But it gives other people the opportunity to embed your videos, right? So could be somebody who discovers your video, found it extremely useful, extremely helpful. They may want to embed it on their site. It's still going to be your brand. It's still going to be personally. They can't manipulate it and say that they own it because it's still your video, right? The only thing I will say to that is obviously you're going to want keep an eye on your analytics, because if it is a questionable site that maybe you don't want to have that relationship with, then you would probably want to control where that video is being published. But at the end of the day, if other people are publishing your video to their site, it's going to drive more traffic and more awareness for you. So something to consider, but the embed option is obviously a value in other people who want to promote your video on their sites as well. So
yeah, totally. I think it's worth noting one more thing.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about YouTube, and YouTube has, the dominance in the market. But I also, when right and when appropriate, and I've used it a lot in the past, I still think that Vimeo is a good solution if you have the need to control your video.
Dude, you just killed our YouTube video. You just mentioned that YouTube is gonna know that.
I know.
And they're
gonna sniff it out. No, it's yeah. Vimeo. Some of the things I really like about what Vimeo's done is YouTube has gotten very cluttered. I mean, there's no denying that there's a lot to look at when you go onto YouTube.
What I say? 500 hours of video uploaded every single minute.
So and think about it. When you go to YouTube on your desktop, you've got the video, which granted they've made bigger over the years, which is great. But you've got below it, you've gotten all the comments, you got the description, you got all the tags, you got all that kind of stuff, right? Then on the right-hand side, you've got an entire listing of all the other videos that you should watch, right? Your recommended, videos. The one thing I think Vimeo's done really, really well is they stayed true to the very clean platform design. They've given brands more ability to really customize their channels at Vimeo. I think the platform looks very sophisticated, very clean, not junky. And I also feel like Vimeo is a good place if you want to showcase like really high quality video. I always picture Vimeo as being like, let's say, for example, you're selling a house and it's a really nice house. It's beautiful, and you've got some great drone footage of it or something, like super high production video. I think Vimeo is a good place for that too. Also, I don't think there's any harm in putting your videos up on Vimeo and YouTube.
No, absolutely not.
Technically can't do it, and I do recommend it because Vimeo has its own audience. It has its own followers and people who like Vimeo. So, but I do like, if you want to control more of the experience that your users getting around your video, Vimeo might be actually an excellent choice. You're probably not going to get the traffic. You're not going to get the organic people finding it. But if you want to send people to a nice spot, nice landing page, nice video production, Vimeo is definitely a good place to go.
I think that's fair. I think that's solid advice, even though you just killed our YouTube video. I think,
I know, yeah.
No, I think
if we don't get any views on this video, we'll know why.
Yeah, it'll be a good test for us. I think that, yeah, absolutely. The more places you can put your content, I mean, it's all a matter of, time allocation, right? How much time do you have? But at the end of the day, if you can publish your video to YouTube, Vimeo, Instagram TV, Facebook, I mean, you're just putting your billboard on more roads out there, right? So you're just going to get seen, and you're going to different audiences are going to discover you. So absolutely, I think that's solid advice. Did I miss anything? Did you miss anything?
No, other than I gave someone something to consider here. I did a quick, when you were talking earlier, I did a quick keyword score on buying a home on a golf course. If anybody wants this niche, it's got an 82 out of 100 score on TubeBuddy. So it is ripe for some great content. So if you're a real estate agent and you want to build channel around buying a house on a golf course, there you go.
See this,
YouTube is hungry for it.
See, this is what Bob does. Bob is sitting over there. He's like, I don't have a creative bone in my body. I don't have any creativity. And then we're sitting in the middle of the podcast and he pulls a keyword out of right field, throws it on TubeBuddy, and it gets an 82 out of 100. So I don't want to hear about this whining about you not being like.
So there you go. I just gave someone a free niche advice. So take it and run if you're one of those agents. So.
Awesome. Well, if you are tuning in on your favorite podcast, you have actually just won, because you're actually going to be able to hear this, because the people who are tuning on YouTube will never be able to see this because we mentioned Vimeo. So you're a winner today if you're a podcast listener. So I think we covered we gave a lot of information for people to, but I think that's really everything that we shared today is really important for building your channel on YouTube and figuring out that content, being authentic, being genuine, create content about what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, and how it's going to provide value to your audience. You're going to win every day. But then once you have that in place, take all these other suggestions, put them into play, and watch your YouTube channel just go through the roof. And if you would, tag me and Bob in it. We'd love to see your video content. We'd love to see what you're doing, and come over, give it a like, and do whatnot. But other than that, Bob, I think the only thing left to do on today's episode is for you to take us out of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes episode number 46.
I almost feel like I should give you my YouTube viewing stats. Did you know you can do that in the app? There's an option for you. You can see your YouTube view habits. Mine is embarrassing how much YouTube I watch. So if you've got content, send it my way, because chances are I'll watch it. I watch a lot of YouTube.
You just found a sucker.
Yeah. Ooh, boy. Okay, I'll take us out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, a couple of things. Like the video. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, because that really helps us out a lot. We are nearing a milestone. We're close. We can almost taste it. Our subscriber count is closing in on 1,000. We'd love to get there. It'd be a huge milestone.
So close.
I've already promised Seth a lunch out to Famous Dave's if he reaches 1,000 on this channel. So
come on, help his
barbecue eating habits out by subscribing to our channel. If you're listening to this in audio format, of course, you can find us in every single podcast directory out there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're everywhere. So make sure you subscribe to those channels as well. So even if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, also subscribe to the audio format, because you never know. Sometimes you might be in a position where you can't watch and you can only listen. There's an option there. If you can rate and review.
Or you might be on a cross-country road trip and you could fit it in one episode.
Yes, you can. That's right, yeah. No kidding, right? Okay, so if you can rate and review in whatever podcast directory you use, that would be much appreciated, because it helps people find us more easily. Also, find us at homesforheroes.com. Check out all the great things we're doing. We've got so much stuff going on. We're very busy right now, thanking every hero in the nation. That's our goal. So go to homesforheroes.com. If you're a real estate agent out there and you're looking to join our program, that's a great place to start. If you're a hero who's interested in a real estate transaction, we can help you out. So homesforheroes.com. I think that's about it. Oh, I don't know. Can you subscribe on Vimeo? If you can, go to Vimeo. Do we have a Vimeo channel? If we don't, we're starting one.
No,
Seth's going to start a video.
We have a Vimeo channel. I just haven't been able to publish it too, because I've been doing.
All right, go to Vimeo. Subscribe. There might not be anything there, but that's okay.
Subscribe. Wherever Homes
subscribe anyways.
Yeah, no.
Support our efforts.
We definitely appreciate you guys supporting our efforts, and just a little bit of love with a like and a subscribe goes a long way. And like I said, if we can reciprocate that love, tag us in something, and we will definitely come over and give you guys a like and give you some support as well, because we definitely want to build a supportive, caring community, not just in the fact that we around serving heroes, but in terms of this content. It is for you guys, and we want to be able to serve and support you guys as well. So
I have one more plug.
Yeah,
find Seth's personal YouTube channel. Subscribe to Seth's personal, and mine too if you want, but my content's weird and all over the place.
I was just
great video. Your video about Jamaica, what was his name? Mikey? Was it Mikey? You eating Mikey's food on the beach? I'm telling you, people, you got to watch this video.
No, Ninja and Mikey.
Ninja and Mikey. I'm telling you, Seth,
and actually,
Seth's content is worth watching.
And actually, Mike, he just WhatsApp messaged me again the other day, which is weird. Like,
of course he did.
If you go watch this video, the context will all come out. It'll make it's just really weird. And I'm actually thinking about deleting all my YouTube videos. But if you hustle on over there, you could probably catch them before I actually have the efforts to, or I put forth the efforts to take them down. So I appreciate the plug, Bob, but not really. But yeah, no. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. We definitely love and enjoy this, and we really do appreciate you spending this time with us. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks, guys.